I'm happy to be here, and thanks for coming for this Doorstop. I want to give a quick update on the work of the Singapore Economic Resilience Taskforce. The task force has been working over the last few weeks. We have been reaching out to the businesses in Singapore, SMEs as well as MNCs, to engage them, to share with them the latest development in the global scene as well as the local situation, and also to get feedback from them and to help make sense of what's happening and to better understand their needs, their concerns, and see how we can prepare ourselves to support them if a situation weakens further. And the task force met last week, and I also had the opportunity to meet Secretary for Treasury, Mr. Besant, and we had a very pleasant discussion and a very productive engagement between the two of us. I updated him on the various discussions we had between Singapore and US on collaboration and on strengthening economic relationship. And we also discussed the intention to further develop a bilateral relationship. And he has encouraged us to continue to engage USTR and the Department of Commerce to work out the various possibilities and the various options that we are exploring. So I think we had continued to engage the US. But coming back to the overall situation, just to recap, the task force had three key work streams. The first one is on information and sense making. The second one is on helping companies to address immediate impact. And the third one is looking at a longer term preparation for companies to restructure and reorganize so as to be ready for the new landscape when the dust settles. On the first work stream on information sharing and sense making, just to give a quick recap, the 10% baseline tariff remained in force for most countries, including Singapore. The higher level tariffs on the reciprocal tariffs have been deferred by 90 days to allow countries to negotiate with the US and with one another. And these countries which are in negotiation with the US will include Japan, Korea, EU, and others as well. And at the same time, I think we just heard recently that the UK has announced they have reached an agreement with US on what they call the economic prosperity deal. So I think this is a good development, and there is also an agreement between US and China to reduce the tariffs from 145% for US to 30%, and for China from 125% to 10%, and to defer these higher tariffs by 90 days. This would also allow the two countries to come together, to discuss, to engage, to consult one another, and to negotiate for a more amicable settlement in terms of the tariffs. So these are encouraging developments, but I should sound a word of caution because the outlook remains very uncertain. What will happen at the end of 90 days is still a big question mark. It's yet to be known, and whether the negotiation with the other countries will progress smoothly, whether they will eventually settle at a level that are mutually agreeable and workable is something that is still yet to be seen. The discussion between China and US, of course, is right at the beginning, is a starting point. I think the journey will be quite long. It will take time for the two countries to come to an agreement with one another. Whether they will eventually be able to come to agreement is uncertain. So I think there is a lot of uncertainty remains in the global economy, and it's something that we will need to continue to monitor and be ready to respond as the situation evolves. And it is also important for us to continue to engage our businesses to make sure that they are stay in tune with the development in the world, and to be ready to prepare themselves to restructure their businesses, reorganize their businesses, and to continue to remain resilient. That is with regard to the second work stream on preparing our businesses for the immediate impact from the tariff adjustments. And we have been engaging our businesses locally, both MNCs as well as our SMEs, local SMEs, to better understand their concerns and their worries and their interests and how we can better support them. I think one of the issues that many of our companies are worried about is the slowdown in global economy, because they're already seeing signs that some of the orders have been delayed or have been deferred, and some orders have been cancelled. So companies are worried about their revenue going forward. They are worried about also payment from their customers. Some of the orders have been delayed or cancelled, so therefore their revenue will be affected, their cash flow will be affected. So some of them are concerned about working capital, and these are the issues that we will take into account to help them deal with the immediate concerns. And beyond the enterprises, we also talk to our unions, our workers, to better understand the concerns among our employees and workers. Most of their concern at the top of their mind is really job security. Those who have jobs, they want to know whether their jobs are secure. They will continue to have this employment opportunity. Those who are looking for jobs, especially the fresh graduates that are coming up into the job market, will be concerned about whether they are able to find a good job, a secure and good paying job, good quality job. So I think these are concerns among our workers. Of course, we also have a sense of the concerns among our households. Our households continue to be worried about the cost of living. They want to make sure that even as the economy slows down, whether they will receive continued support with regard to their cost of living. So I think these are the issues that we have gleaned from our engagement with our enterprises, our workers, and our residents. And we have been the SERT team has been working not only to understand these issues, but also we have started working on potential measures that we may want to roll out in time to come when the situation warrants it. For example, for enterprises, I think from the budget, we already roll out a series of package to help support our enterprises, including tax rebates, which I think is coming into effect soon. And we have also rolled out several programs, including market readiness assistance grants to help companies to develop new markets. We are also looking at how we can enhance some of these schemes when the situation warrants it. So we are preparing for enhancements to some of these schemes. I mentioned about cash flow and working capital concerns among companies. We are also talking to the banks and also reviewing our various financing schemes that we have already put in place and still in place to see whether they are adequate and whether there is room for us to enhance them. So we are preparing all these schemes, and if the situation warrants, we will roll out some of these schemes to be targeted at helping companies in specific areas of needs. For the workers, the key really is to create more job opportunities and more opportunities for them to stay engaged and stay productive. And therefore, we've been working with some of the major employers, big companies, to see whether we can continue to support the creation of new jobs. And we have also continued to step up our investment promotion. I think you have heard an announcement of a new investment recently. They are creating more jobs for our Singapore employees and workers. At the same time, we are also exploring stepping up our internship opportunities for some of the workers who may want to go for training, want to go for internship before they secure a permanent job. So I think this is especially for the fresh graduates. This is something that we are working on. We are also working with the IHLs, Institutes of Higher Learning, to see whether we can step up our efforts in job assistance, whether including counseling, including job search, and creating more opportunities for job fair, so that our graduates will have more opportunities to secure a job going forward. These are concerns among our workers and the things that we are working on. We are, of course, also continuing to step up on our training opportunities for our in-service workers as well as new entrants into the job market, so that they, in addition to securing a job, they can also explore opportunities for training and upgrading. I think the recent announcement on the Skills Future Level Up program is an important initiative. We are also looking at how we can expand the training and upskilling opportunities under Skills Future. So this will help to strengthen our employment market, and we will continue to monitor, and if the employment market remains soft, and we will roll out additional programs to ensure that our workers will be able to find jobs. Lastly, on households, I think we have just Prime Minister has just launched the CDC voucher, and I'm sure all of you are familiar with the CDC voucher. This is the first tranche is $500, and another $300 will be early next year. And in addition to that, this year we are also rolling out SG60 vouchers for all the Singaporean adults. So I think this will also go to a large extent in helping households cope with cost of living. And PM has also promised that if need be, if the situation warrants, we are stand ready to provide additional support and help. And that we just want to assure Singapore households that we will be there to support you to make sure that you will be able to cope with the impact of an economic slowdown if it happens. And coming back to the longer term work stream, I think this is with regard to the second work stream. On the third work stream, for the longer term, we will have to continue to work with expanding our market, expanding our diversifying our supply chain to make sure that our economy will continue to remain resilient. So we will be helping our companies undergo restructuring, reorganization so that they remain resilient. So that I think that this is something that we will continue to do. And in addition to helping our companies to undergo the restructuring and reorganization, we are also deepening our partnership with like-minded trading partners. This will include, first and foremost, our ASEAN neighbors. We are, as I mentioned earlier, we have engagement with the ASEAN economic ministers. We are close to concluding the negotiation of ASEAN Trade in Goods Agreement, ATIGA, and we are aiming to complete the negotiation by end of this month. And this is an upgrade to the Trade in Goods Agreement, which is basically a free trade agreement, to further lower down tariff and to remove more tariff barriers so that we can facilitate trade among ASEAN members. I think this signals ASEAN members' commitment to deepen our integration and to strengthen our cooperation among our members. I think this is an important step forward that will signal to the world that we continue to want to be able to work with one another, to continue to trade with one another, and to continue to push ahead with the ASEAN integration. So I think this is with regard to our collaboration within ASEAN. Among the ASEAN members, we have also discussed the possibility of strengthening ASEAN's partnership with other trading organizations, such as the EU or the GCC. So I think ASEAN will continue to engage them, and we are beginning to reach out to them and to provide opportunities for discussion between ASEAN and our dialogue partners. Other organizations such as the CPTPP as well as RCEP, Regional Cooperation for Economic Partnership, is something that we will continue to strengthen and deepen, and we are in discussion with all of them to see how we can open up more opportunities for dialogues with these trading blocs as well as our trading partners. So I think this will allow us to open up more markets for our exports, at the same time to also open up more sources of supply to strengthen our supply chain resilience. So it's both direction. So I think it's important for us to continue to deepen our partnership and collaboration with our key trading partners. So I think these are the areas that we'll continue to push ahead. By the end of the day, I think it's important to remind our businesses and our workers that going forward, the situation, the outlook remains challenging, remains uncertain. There are some good news that countries are beginning to talk to one another. These are encouraging, but it doesn't mean that the trouble is over, because until we are able to settle on the amicable solution among the countries, I think the outlook remains very uncertain. When we talk to our businesses, their feedback is also they are very concerned about this uncertainty because they don't really know what the tariffs are going to be, whether they are able to lock into longer-term orders is something they are concerned about, because if you lock into an order that is going to be delivered in 6 months, in 1 year's time, what the tariff will be at that time, they really have no visibility today. So I think to many businesses, this uncertainty is very worrying and very unsettling. So I think we need to continue to support our businesses, encourage them to look ahead and to prepare themselves to be ready for changes that will come our way, whether it's tariffs or whether it's supply chain adjustments. All these are things that will happen, and we must be ready to diversify our supply chain sources and also diversify our markets for our goods and products. At the same time, we are also encouraging our enterprises to develop new products and services that will allow us to open up new opportunities for our businesses. And for the workers, we want to continue to encourage them to stay positive and focus on training and upgrading, because I think the scenario, the landscape after this tariff tension settles will be a new landscape, will be quite different. And the skill set that will be needed for new opportunities will be very different from what we are seeing today. So they should continue to make sure that they upgrade themselves, keep their skills up to date and relevant, so that when these new opportunities emerge, they will be in a strong position to seize these opportunities that will come our way. So I think that is the key message to our businesses as well as our workers.